Welcome to Will It Work? I will tell you right now that this console does in fact work. This is the Pong by Atari. I had to spin this one backwards in the sense that I did the video output first because I was working on trying to improve video quality, and I had this unit available, and I turned it on, it worked, and so I was using that because it has probably one of the oldest RF uh, radio frequency uh, connections, and so yeah, I was doing that, and I decided to go ahead and record the export video, which you'll see tacked on to the end of this part. So I have a number of these different units. I'm going to make videos about all of them because each one is a separate Pong and ultimately a separate console. What's interesting is that this appears to be an original Atari Pong, and you might think, wow, that must be the very first Pong game. It's not. Odyssey, the very first Odyssey, which was not called Odyssey 1, it's just called Odyssey, came out first. And there were many Pong systems that came out that were really early. They didn't keep score, or they were in black and white, etc., like how the original Atari Pong in the arcade was. But here, this one is in color, which you'll see, and I found that a little bit surprising, and it keeps score. So I would think it would be like a later edition of some sort, but it may just be possible, and I will have to look it up, and I will include it in the show notes, but it may just be possible that Atari, when they released this unit, they came in maybe a little bit later than the other guys doing the home version, and they went and created a quality Pong game, which was in color and kept score, and that's pretty cool. It does run on batteries, and you can plug in an adapter onto the back here, which is what I did, and it does indeed work. It's just dirt, it's just dusty, and it could really use some cleaning, but ultimately, for the purpose of this video, I wasn't going to do all that because a lot of times these things might not work, and we don't know, but in this case it did. So this one's a keeper, and it is the original Atari Pong, and I'm going to show you, again, it's going to be a little bit shaky video, but it's getting better. At least you can see it in color and everything and kind of get a glimpse of what's going on now. So here we go.
All right, so this is Atari Pong. I do notice, though, that it's in color, and this is telling me that while this is Pong, this must be some sort of colored version of Pong, or, they released their first Pong in color. I don't think so, although based on what we've looked at earlier, it definitely is Atari Pong, and I'd have to do some research on it, etc. But the screen quality is about as good as I'm going to get. We're trying to, be forgiving in the fact that this is a 50-year-old game system. But let's see, we push this, and it's two-player, and it does keep score. So this is definitely not an early Pong game, but it is, it is playing a game of Pong, and that's all it plays. It doesn't have any other games. It takes batteries. The sound that you might be hearing of the game isn't actually coming from the game itself. It's coming from the unit, right? So they didn't even broadcast sound over the RF, just the picture. And they did use color, and there are ways of doing color. You would use the same microchip as a lot of other games would. I'm not saying necessarily this system did, but you would in a lot of cases, and they would add on a helper chip to just provide some color. And in this case, though, it is keeping score, and that's a later edition thing. And it's just possible that Atari, when they first decided to release a Pong outside of the arcade, that their first Pong game was in color. And why not? I don't know if that's true, but I'll do some research on it. I'll put it in the show notes. Fairly interesting. So this is a Atari Pong. This is what it looks like. Again, I have a lot of these systems, but yeah, this is possibly color Atari Pong. But again, as we've seen, this unit's just called Pong.